What's up everybody, welcome back to the YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be showing you the new coilovers and the intercooler that I put on this car about a week or so ago. I got some BC Racing coilovers for it. I think they're the BR series or something like that. It's the street series, not the track series, so they're a little bit softer than those, but they're the new Driftmotion intercooler, which is bigger, better. It's got hard metal intake piping, it's got all new elbows, and it came with the new HKS SQV blow-off valve. It's not really HKS brand, but it's close enough. It's an exact model after. It works great. I've had all this about on the car for about a week. I don't normally do install videos, so that's why I didn't film any of it. So I didn't film any of the install. This is just a review. This is just me telling you how I like it, how it works, the pricing. Let's get right into this. Oh yeah, also don't forget to like and subscribe. Please watch till the end of the video. So the first thing on this list is going to be these coilovers. Yes, I know I have the wheels on and everything, but you can immediately tell from the other videos how much smaller that gap is. That gap is tiny. This is about as low as I can go. It actually needs to go up a little bit more. Hope you can see that. But it's tight. It's just enough to make it clear everything, and I can fully crank it left and right. These things just look so good. They make the wheels look so much better, even though these wheels look like crap right now. Hopefully I'm gonna get them repainted soon. But even, come look at the rear. Look at the rears. It's got a lot more height on them. Look at that. That's a lot smaller than stock ride height. And they ride so much better than the TEMS. That stupid TEMS was so soft all the time. I have each one of these coilovers actually maxed out to the hardest setting they can possibly go, and they still ride like pretty decent. They're not super annoying and rough. They actually pretty good for a daily. They're not too annoying and rigid. They look good. The car is so much lower than it used to be in the front. Makes it look so much more aggressive. And they're just overall really good coilovers. They don't bounce too much. They're good and sturdy. They have 15 or so levels of adjustment and the dampening. And the softest setting is seriously like marshmallow mode. It's so smooth and so bouncy. They're almost unusable on the soft setting because it's so bouncy. But if you're going on a long road trip, you pop these things all the way down to the soft and you're set. You're gonna have a nice smooth ride on the highway. The strap's gonna be in the way no matter what. Get this hood open. Brick. I need the pliers. I gotta hold this thing with my head, otherwise it'll fall. I need those. Yeah, those aren't important anyway. Ladies and gentlemen, this is under the hood right here. This is what you guys have all been waiting for. There's a little gold top hat for the BC coilovers. The adjustment. I don't know if it's gonna focus on that or not. Focus. Okay, they're all the way hard, but there's seriously like 15 little notches that can go all the way soft or not. It came with all new little top screws for the top hat. 3 obviously. The big old TEMS little stupid, I guess, plastic cap that sits like this. You just rip it off after you take off 3 bolts and it comes right off. It's not very hard. Just ignore that for now. Just pretend that's not there, please. And then here's this one. Yeah, this one has a spacer on it. I should probably take that off. Anyway, that's not the point. Same thing as the other side. They look good. They work good, and they're easily adjustable. Thankfully, all this is right on the top. A flick of a wrist, I can open the hood and change it whenever I feel like it. Sadly, you cannot see it at all. This side looks more slammed, but it's not. They're both equal. Sadly, you can't see the actual shock inside. I should have filmed that. But they're relatively easy to install. It took me about a day and a half, and that's because I was taking my sweet time. I was making sure I got everything done right, because I got them about 2 o'clock from UPS the first day, and I worked on it from like 2 o'clock till like 7. And the main problem that I kept running into is that I could not get the front shock tower out. I could not figure out how to get it out. I undid the top, but I got the through bolt out on the bottom, and I could not figure out how to wiggle it out. So sadly, yes, my knowledge was limited, so I had to go to YouTube, like everyone does when you don't know. Sadly, Chris Fix doesn't have a video, so I had to work with what I had. But I figured out you have to take the whole upper control arm out. So I had to unscrew that through bolt on the upper control arm, take off that long schlong of a bolt that is probably, I don't know, a foot, maybe 14 inches. It's super long. Get that out. Basically punch through my fender liner because it will not come out unless I jerked it through the fender liner. And once I got the upper control arm down, it finally came down enough where I could pull it and pop out that top. It slid right out. Because the coilovers, they're like it's a bolt-in design. Thankfully, Toyota from the factory did 3 bolts on the top and 1 through bolt on the bottom. No welding, no fabrication, nothing. Bolt-in from BC. Just put in the top ones, just shoved it into the top, made sure it was all nice and in there and then in the tower. And then I put the through bolt in, torqued it down to, I believe it's 106 foot-pounds. 106 foot-pounds for the through bolt on the shock. And then it was like 120, I believe, for the upper control arm. For anyone who's trying to do this. And then obviously it's the same for the other front side. The rear was way easier. The rear was, I look so white. The ADD, I'm getting distracted. The rear was extremely easy. I didn't have to unbolt anything besides the 3 top hat and then the bottom through bolt. And then it just, you kind of had to wiggle it pretty hard, and preferably you have another person that weighs over or around 150 pounds or so. And they're gonna have to put all their weight on the hub, and you're gonna have to kind of like get in the jump up and down, and it'll eventually just fall out. And you're gonna have to do the same thing to get it in. You're gonna put all your weight on it, and then you're gonna have to just kind of put the bottom in first and then shove the top up, and it'll fit right in. The rear probably only took about 30 minutes, and the front probably took like 3 or 4 hours doing all that stuff. It took that long. Partially because I'm a little stupid on doing all that stuff, but it doesn't matter. Sadly, I don't have a light, so this is gonna have to work. But we're gonna move on to the intercooler piping now. Yes, it's a little ghetto, but ignore it because those bolts don't even fit in, but they give you all these, from Driftmotion, they give you these nice, good looking little, they give you these nice little worm clamp style things right here. I don't know what you really call these or not, but you just stick an impact on there, crank it down, and it works really well. They do have different sizes. You're gonna have to watch out for that. That's like 2.75, they have 2.5 and then 2.2. You're gonna use most of the 2.25s, or sorry, 2.5 on almost everything. These are 2.5s. The elbow that goes down through there is a 2.5. The only one that's bigger is this one, and I believe the one coming from the turbo itself. It was very straightforward. No fabrication at all. Nothing. None of this had to be fabricated. This is all straight from Driftmotion. It was bolt in, go. It works great. I haven't had a single problem with it yet. None of the pipings, none of the elbows, none of the little rubber grommet elbow thingies have broken off yet at all. Everything works great. It sounds insane. It replaced the whole piping from the turbo to the intake, obviously, and put a whole new intercooler in there, which I'll show you in a second. But none of it is blown off yet. All the clamps work super well. They are strong, they're sturdy, and I haven't had any problems with it. And like I said, I didn't have to fabricate this. Driftmotion doesn't give you directions on what certain pipes go where, but you just kind of got to follow along with that, kind of do like a puzzle and just figure it out. Everything fit perfectly. I got it. I had to take the whole front bumper off, which if any of you know how to take the front bumper off, it sucks. Royally sucks. It was 50 bolts at least probably to take the whole front bumper off. Anyway, I'm not gonna get into that. I've been complaining about that for days. The front intercooler, let me show you what it looks like. You can just see it hiding down in there. It looks crooked because it is. The piping on this side needed to go down a little bit lower, but in order to clearance on this side for the oil cooler, it had to go up higher. So it looks jank, but trust me, it has a reason. Like, trust me, I did not try and mess this up at all. I did the best I possibly could on this. I don't know if you'll be able to see down there, but there's the intercooler. There's the top of it. Just barely made it underneath that brace. The AC lines are still there. Everything's still there. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see. You're probably not gonna be able to see that, but there's 2 brackets on the bottom side. There's no brackets up top. It was gonna be too hard to do all that. It's just gonna be annoying. But there's 2 brackets on the bottom. There's one like right down in there somewhere. It comes from the frame that goes to that. And same thing over here past my monster can, which yes, this is the new coolant expansion tank. Ridicule me all you want, but it works. The hose still goes from there to the beautiful coolant expansion tank. Dang, I think it's actually kind of full. This is why I need an engineering degree. Look at that. You guys trust me to build a house, right? So here's the blow-off valve. There she is right there. The SQV, the super squeaky boy. It is pretty squeaky, I will say. It sounds extremely good. I fixed that blow-off valve. I made that video showing about cheap and easy blow-off valve That only lasted about a week, and I changed it because I knew it was destroying my turbo. But there's the stock line. It came with I did put new silicone line on it. Just ran it right there to there, and that's all I had to do. There's a stupid snap ring that goes in there though. I don't know if you'll be able to see that or not, but there's a snap ring. He's sitting in there. He's the most evil thing I've ever seen. Snap rings are the worst thing you possibly buy, and whoever puts snap rings on stuff, I just don't like you. Just sucks. They suck. I have not had a problem yet with that blow-off valve, even though supposedly the snap ring's a little, it looks crooked. It's holding in there plenty. I've hit like almost 10 pounds of boost on this thing, and that's the stock boost cut, and it does perfect. It just blows it off so quick, it doesn't matter, and it sounds good. It does that initial squeak, and then that squeak goes down with the flutter. For some reason, these single turbo engines flutter so much, especially these Supras. So it'll squeak, and then it'll go, it'll flutter down slowly for like the next 5 seconds or so. But if you're hitting higher boost, it'll just go, it'll just shoot it all out like a full atmospheric. And no, it's not hurting the engine. And a lot of you guys are gonna be like, whatever happened to the blow-off valve? It was like supposed to be a recirculating blow-off valve. I don't know either why it works, but it doesn't hesitate after it blows off all that extra steam. It doesn't do anything. You don't have to buy a recirculating blow-off valve like the stock one. It works fine. Well, speaking of that, I should show you my ghetto setup. You guys are gonna respect this. Look at that. You see that hose right there? That's where the old blow-off valve went. It used to go right here and on the stock intake piping, and that's where the blow-off valve went into. Is on that nipple right there. Please focus. Thank you. It went right there on that nipple. You basically just yeet that thing off, take it off, forget about it, put this new sexy piping in there with that sexy blow-off valve, and then all I did was I took the blow-off valve off that old piping down in there. The kit comes with like a cylindrical like bolt thing, so when you get the bolts, you put it in, you put this like little cylinder type thing on the bottom of it, and that's what the bolt screws into. So I just shoved that in there because it was a perfect diameter, and then I shoved the bolt through it, threaded it down, and then shoved the gasket maker all inside of that, just like I used to fix my exhaust leak. Hasn't had a single problem. Gasket maker, guys, is beautiful. It's a wonderful thing. Anyway, I don't want to make this video too long, so I'm going to wrap this up. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment any questions or concerns with how some of this stuff looks stupid and you think it's dumb and I'm about to die at any second. I am going to answer this though. I do daily drive this car. I love it, even though I made an I hate video, and I get a lot of crap for that video, but I love this car. I plan on keeping it. So if you want to see future upgrades or reviews or whatever, let me know. Tell me down in the comments what you'd like to see, or if you have any questions. I'm always free to answer because this community, we have a really good community behind this car. They're really good people, and I want to help put videos out there that are helpful and useful, I guess, to help the community out. Love you guys. Stay safe. Please like and subscribe. Go watch some other videos.